Brompton is an amazing bike, and it has a wide variety of upgrades and accessories to truly unlock its potential. These accessories can both boost your riding comfort as well as just bring new features and functionalities to your bike. Hi everybody, my name is Stas, and in this video I want to talk about what are my top 10 plus 2 additional items and upgrades for my P-Line Brompton. And if you have other Brompton modification or a different folding bike whatsoever, this would be still perfectly relevant for you. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this video, and let's get going. So the first item on the list is a saddle upgrade. My Brompton originally came with this Physic default saddle, and the first thing that you can do to massively improve your riding experience is installing a new saddle. I landed on Brooks B17 standard leather saddle, which is this guy here, for the price of £125. Brooks is an iconic British saddle manufacturer, and B17 is their best-selling flagship model. It has a hammock-like design with metal rails and leather body, which gives it several important features and functionalities. First, over time it molds into shape tailored to your own anatomy and becomes extremely comfortable. Initially it's quite hard, but after you do your first 60 to 80 miles on the saddle, it breaks in and gets into proper shape. Secondly, these saddles are rumored to be extremely durable and may last up to 15 to 20 years if properly cared for. Brooks even gives 10 years warranty for them. On the other hand, it requires a bit more care and maintenance compared to your usual saddle. It is recommended to cover them with a special cream called Proofite, which looks like this. And ideally you should do it every 4 to 6 months to help increase longevity and water-resistant properties of your saddle. Also, the leather tends to get softer over time, so you need to tighten it a little bit. To do so, you need to turn the bolts underneath the saddle with a special wrench that comes together with the saddle and looks like this. First time I did it somewhere around 8 to 10 months after using the saddle, when it started to feel a little bit too soft, and it completely resolved the problem. Lastly, the saddle is not waterproof and is also quite heavy. If you leave your Brompton in a rainy weather outside, your Brooks saddle is very likely to suffer. However, there are ways to mitigate this problem. Proofite can be helpful to increase longevity and water resistance of your saddle quite a bit, and you can also buy and apply some sort of cap to cover it and protect from water. But to be very honest with you, Brompton's main protection from the rain is just the fact that you can fold it and store it somewhere dry. So I don't think this is a major problem at all. Next two items on the list are pretty much intertwined. So let's start with the grips first. The default grips coming together with your Brompton are actually quite good. They are made from foam and they're very soft and light. But they have two major downsides. First one, they let pretty much all the shock and vibration to hit your hands directly. Second problem, when you ride for long periods of time, you start feeling some pain in your wrist and numbness in your fingers, which happens because of the restricted blood flow to your palm and hands. So Ergon GP handlebars come to the rescue. They have three distinct features. First point, they have this rubberized grip that blocks a lot of shock and vibration from your hand. Second point, they have this ergonomic palm rest that helps circulating blood to your wrist and fingers, and it actually forces you to hold handlebars like this with a straight wrist, compared to the default handlebar where you usually do it like this. And lastly, they have these horns that you can use as an alternative grip to your default position. There are 5 options depending on the length of the grip, with GP1 having no horns at all and GP5 having enough space to fit your entire palm and even hold the handlebars like this in addition to the regular grip. I ended up using GP3, which is this guy here, which should fit 3 fingers on the horn. And the good thing about them, they absolutely don't mess with the folding process. The price for the pair was around £47. One thing to mention though, if you don't have advanced roller rack, which is this guy here, and I'm gonna talk about it in a bit more details further down the road, when you fold your bike, the external part of the handle can actually touch the ground, which adds a little bit of tear wear to the surface of the handle. Overall, these grips add a lot of comfort to your ride, especially if you do long distances and long durations, as I commonly do. I don't find the horns themselves particularly useful as an alternative grip, but they are instrumental as a placeholder for the next item on the list. And to be honest, even without the horns, these handlebars are extremely practical and useful, so I would definitely recommend them regardless. Now the next item on the list is Zefal Spy Mirror, which is this guy here. As you can see, I have fitted it on the right horn of my Ergon handlebars. This item costs only £10 and it's absolutely amazing for all the value that it brings. This small item is absolutely invaluable for riding in the city, as it gives you a solid picture on what is behind you, similarly to what wind mirrors of the car would do. Without such a mirror, your only two options for environmental awareness of the road behind you are your ears and constantly looking back over your shoulder, which is also called a lifesaver glance. The amazing feature of this mirror is that it does not interfere with folding whatsoever, so you can just stick it, configure it once, and that's pretty much it. The only caveat though, it works like this in the UK and other countries with left-sided traffic, where your lifesaver glance is over your right shoulder, so like this. And then the mirror will sit on the right horn of your Ergon handlebars. If you move it to the left grip, which is this guy here, you will need to remove it to fold the bike. Plus, it's adds a little bit of additional extremity to the body of your bike. The attachment process is quite easy though. It is done using this rubberized strap, which can be done like this. And then removing and reattaching your mirror to handlebars is not too much of a hassle, so it can be done pretty much every now and then. You can also rotate the mirror to give you the best possible view of the road behind you, and then you can fix it with a small bolt on the body of the mirror. Although I almost immediately damaged the thread of this bolt, so please be careful and don't rely too much on it. Anyways, if you don't mess with the mirror too much, it holds in the position very well. Two words of caution though. Objects in the mirror are closer than they appear, and I would really encourage you to still do a lifesaver glance over your shoulder before any major maneuver, as it can literally save your life. The next item is the Brompton quad lock phone mount. It consists of two parts. First one is a mount that you stick to the handlebars of your bike using the screws provided, and it fits snugly on top of your bike. And then the second one is a universal adapter, which is the guy here, that you stick to the back of your phone case. These adapters are sold separately for £20, so you can either buy them as an additional attachment or together with the mount. Now, when the attachment is stick to the holder of your phone, you just click it to the mount like this, and that's pretty much done. I have been using my phone as a cycling computer to measure distance, speed, time, calories, using navigation via apps like Cyclometer on commute, and I hardly imagine doing it without this mount. The only disadvantage from this item for me so far is that you need to permanently attach the adapter to the case of your phone. And if you need to change the case, like I probably would have to shoot in this video, then you'll need to buy a new adapter. Overall, I am quite happy with it. It fixates the phone to the bike reliably, and it's quite easy to attach and remove. The next item is a famous Brompton bicycle toolkit. It's a complete lifesaver if you need to do something mechanical with your bike on the road, like adjust your saddle, reset or adjust your gearing, or replace an inner tube when it took an arrow to its knee. The coolest part about it is that you can actually hide it in the frame of your bike. It actually fits in the inner tube of your bike, and you can hide it when you don't need it and get it back when you need to do something mechanical with your bike. On many occasions, it allowed me to continue my ride instead of going home defeated when I needed something tweaked with my bike halfway through the route, so I would definitely strongly recommend it. Next, two items are related to lights and visibility of your bike. Now, according to UK's road vehicle lighting regulations, it's illegal to cycle on a public road between sunset and sunrise without lights. So if you plan to cycle from dusk to dawn, even occasionally, and I can hardly imagine any cyclist completely avoiding that, you should have lights attached to your bike by the law. By default, Brompton comes with both front and rear reflectors only, so you need to throw in some lights on top. For the rear red light, I've been using CatEye Rapid Mini, which is this guy here, for the price tag of £25. I got it attached to the frame of my saddle, as you can see, via standalone adapter. It can be charged by a micro USB, got 4 different modes, and lasts for up to 30 hours. You can easily detach it for charging as well, which is done like this, and attach it back to the frame of your saddle. Overall, I'm extremely happy with it, so I would probably stick with it forever. Now for the front lights, I got Bontrager Ion 100 headlight, which is this guy here, for the price of £30. To be very honest, I'm not entirely happy with it. The good thing about it, it's very light and portable, but I have two main problems with it. First one, it's attached to the bike via this rubberized contraption, and it's supposed to be easily removed from it for charging, which is true. But when you assemble bike and collapse your handlebars, it can easily fall off and fly away, which happened with me a couple of times. It might be the case that I got a faulty unit or anything like this, but then it's a question for their quality control. To rectify the problem, I have actually attached a sticky tape to the body of the light, which worked quite well. But then it's not extremely comfortable to charge the unit, because your battery or charging device should be actually attached or somehow near the frame of your bike. So I'm using my external charger and a cable to charge my light while it's still sitting on the frame of the bike. The second point, 100 lumens is great to make you more visible on the road, but it's not actually sufficient to light the path in front of you when riding at late evening or even morning. For this purpose, I would use something like Brompton 500 lumens front light, which is twice as expensive but much more useful and robust. So I'm considering to change this guy at some point to give you a full transparency. The next item is the least obvious but still very helpful one. One slightly annoying thing about Brompton is that when you rotate your hinge clamp, which is this guy here or here, when you assemble your bike, the clamp is going places every now and then. It's a small thing, but you most likely need to do this process every time you assemble and disassemble the bike, which is a lot. So an absolutely brilliant engineer named Steve Wood has designed this lovely thing called EZ clamp spring, which costs only £7.90 for a pair for both hinges on your bike. Now when you put it on top of your hinge bolt and inside a hinge plate, it stops it from rotating vertically and maintains its horizontal alignment, which is everything that you need to deal with this problem. I think this is an absolutely amazing product. It's quite cheap, weighs less than a gram, very durable as it's made from polyurethane plastic, easy to install, you basically just place it and forget it. I would also encourage you to buy it directly from Steve's website to support his amazing engineering work. You can find link to his website in the description to this video. Item number 9 is Brompton Advanced Roller Rack, which is this guy here. You can buy it already pre-assembled with your bike, and then it will be called Urban, or as a standalone piece for £140. To be honest, it's not extremely trivial to attach it to your bike, but there is a great instruction video how to do it with a minimal amount of pain on Brilliant Bikes YouTube channel, which you can check here. I followed this process and it worked just fine. There are two main benefits to having your advanced roller frame attached to your bike. First one, your bike becomes much more stable while rolling in a folded shape. You can also use it as an attachment point for all sorts of bags and panniers to the rear frame of your bike. This is a very handy feature when you're doing your grocery shopping with your Brompton. I recently did a video on how to use your Brompton as a grocery shopping vehicle, which you can check via the link here. In this video, I also talk quite a lot about how to use advanced roller frame in the best possible way. Even though I think this is a great item, I believe it to have three things to keep in mind. First one, it adds 340 grams of weight to your bike, which is quite significant. Second point, it adds few additional extremities and makes it harder to pack it in any kind of bag, which is also, by the way, something that I discuss in details in my video here. And finally, it does not have bungee cords included by default for some absolutely bizarre reason. These cost extra £25 and they're very helpful to attach some sort of bulky but light items like kitchen towels or pizza boxes or anything like this to the rear frame of your bike. The bungee cords seem to be quite well constructed though, and they fit nicely on the rack when not in use. So I think that's pretty much fine. Last thing to keep in mind here, P-Line and C-Line use different rear racks. The correct rack for C-Line is called Brompton Rear Carrier Rack and costs £125. Last but not the least among the core items is the Brompton Carrier Block, which is this guy here. It costs £19 and it gives an attachment point for front mountain bags like this one. Its main limitation is that it can handle no more than 10 kilograms of weight, which based on my experience is completely fine, given that you don't want to put too much weight to the front section of your bike, not to mess with the balance too much. When you want to attach a bag to your Brompton, you just need to slide it to the carrier block like this. And then when you want to remove it back, there's a lever underneath the carrier block that you need to pull, and then you can release the bag from the carrier block. Now, in conjunction with the carrier block, it makes sense to buy a bag with an attachment point. There are lots of options out there, big and small, and I've landed on the Brompton Metro Messenger bag, color black, size large, and I'm pretty happy with it so far. It costs a whopping 143 pounds, but it's quite spacious and has very good water resistance, so it's capable of withstanding a significant shower. Plus, you can use the shoulder strap attached to the back to carry it to an office, a gym, or any other place around. And that's pretty much it for today. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy it. I wish you all the best on your cycling journey and see you next time.